The studio lights don't just glow, they interrogate. They bleach the air white. They burn through makeup. They expose every tremor beneath the skin. And on this night, under that merciless wash of light, something goes wrong. Before we step into that silence, before the cameras begin to shake and the audience forgets how to breathe, make sure you subscribe to Fame&Frame, hit like, and drop a comment below. Because what you're about to witness isn't just another celebrity interview. It's the moment the room turned. The applause rolls in first. Polite, polished, programmed. Then she walks out. Angelina Jolie moves with that unmistakable stillness. Not slow, not hurried, but controlled. A black silk dress that absorbs the light. Bare shoulders. No unnecessary jewelry. No armor except composure. Across from her sits Oprah Winfrey, queen of confessionals, architect of vulnerability, the woman who has made presidents cry and billionaires tremble. Oprah's smile is radiant, practiced, warm. But tonight, it lands differently. They hug. A soft embrace. The audience melts. They sit. There's a second, barely noticeable, where Angelina adjusts her posture. Not nervous. Braced. Oprah leans forward. It's been a year of transformation for you. The word hangs. Transformation. Angelina smiles faintly. That's one word for it. The crowd chuckles. But the laugh doesn't settle. Oprah nods, voice honeyed. You've spoken about healing. About reclaiming your narrative. Narrative. Angelina's eyes flicker. Something sharp passes through them, gone almost instantly. Yes, she says carefully. Reclaiming is important. When someone else has been telling your story. There it is. A hairline crack in the glass. The audience doesn't notice yet. But Oprah does. Her smile tightens, just a fraction. Well, Oprah continues lightly. That's what we do here. We create space for truth. Angelina folds her hands in her lap. The camera zooms subtly. Her knuckles are pale. And who defines that truth? She asks softly. A ripple moves through the front row. Oprah tilts her head, amused. Curious. Truth defines itself. Angelina's lips part, not to smile. Does it? She whispers. Silence. It's not dramatic yet. Not explosive. It's controlled. Calculated. The air shifts temperature. Oprah laughs gently, as if smoothing a wrinkle from silk. I sense there's more you'd like to say. Angelina holds her gaze. No blinking. No retreat. There is. A pause. Long enough to feel intentional. You once told me, Angelina says, voice steady but lower now, that this would be a safe space. The audience stills. Oprah's smile fades into something more formal. It is. Angelina inhales. It wasn't. The word drops like a glass shattering in slow motion. A few gasps, small, uncertain. Oprah straightens in her chair. I'm sorry you feel that way. Angelina shakes her head. It's not about how I feel. The camera cuts to a close-up. Her eyes are glassy, not with tears. With restraint. It's about what was aired, she continues. What was edited. What was amplified. The crowd is no longer breathing in unison. Oprah's voice remains calm, but something iron slips underneath. We stand by our integrity. Angelina leans forward. And I stand by mine. The applause sign doesn't flash. No one claps. Oprah folds her hands now, mirroring Angelina's earlier posture. What are you implying? She asks, the warmth thinning. Angelina's voice lowers further. Intimate. Dangerous. I'm saying, she begins, that sometimes interviews aren't conversations. They're constructions. The word construction echoes. A producer off-camera shifts. The audience feels it now. This is not scripted territory. Oprah's chin lifts slightly. We've always allowed you to speak freely. Angelina nods once. And then you chose what parts were convenient. A murmur spreads like wind across dry leaves. Oprah's jaw tightens, barely perceptible. We tell stories responsibly. Angelina tilts her head. Responsibly for who? The silence becomes heavy. Not empty, weighted. Oprah leans forward, voice dropping into that authoritative register that has steadied empires. Angelina, are you suggesting we misrepresented you? Angelina doesn't answer immediately. She lets the quiet grow teeth. I'm suggesting, she says finally, that power edits. The audience gasps louder this time. A producer's whisper crackles in someone's earpiece. Oprah's eyes sharpen. And you believe we abused that power? Angelina exhales slowly. I believe, she says almost tenderly, that you knew exactly which parts of my pain would sell. A sound escapes the crowd. Not applause, not shock. Something between disbelief and awe. Oprah's composure remains, but the warmth is gone. We don't exploit pain. Angelina's eyes lock onto hers. Then why did you air the part one begged you to cut? The room freezes. Oprah blinks. Once. A heartbeat. Excuse me, she says. Angelina doesn't look at the audience now. She doesn't look at the cameras. Only Oprah. I asked, she repeats, voice steady but trembling underneath, for one segment to remain private. Oprah's lips press together. That's not how I remember it. Angelina's shoulders rise with a controlled breath. I have the emails. The words land like thunder without rain. The audience audibly inhales. Oprah's eyes flicker, just once, toward someone off camera. Angelina sees it and smiles. Not kindly. I didn't come here to fight, she says softly. I came because you asked me to be honest. Oprah's voice hardens. And I am. Angelina leans back slowly. Then let's be. The camera pulls wider. Two women. Two legacies. One silence splitting open between them. Oprah opens her mouth to respond, and the red light on the main camera flickers. A producer stands abruptly. Whispers surge. Angelina doesn't look away. And just before the audio dips into static, she says one final sentence that doesn't make it to broadcast. But the audience hears it. You taught the world how to tell stories, she murmurs. You just didn't expect one to be told about you. Blackout. When the red light flickers back on, the room is different. The applause sign stays dark. The audience sits frozen in a silence that feels forbidden, like they've just witnessed something not meant for them. Oprah Winfrey adjusts slightly in her chair, the movement small but deliberate. The practiced warmth she's worn for decades now sits folded somewhere behind her eyes. What remains is composure sharpened. Across from her, Angelina Jolie doesn't blink. The producers have decided not to cut. Not yet. Oprah's voice returns first. Smooth. Controlled. You're making a serious accusation. Angelina nods once. I'm making a statement. A murmur moves through the audience like a low current. Oprah folds her hands in her lap, mirroring calm. Let's be clear, she says carefully. You participated in that interview willingly. Yes, Angelina replies. I trusted it. And you approved the final cut. Angelina's jaw tightens. I approved what I was shown. The words hang there, subtle but razor-edged. Oprah's gaze hardens. We don't deceive our guests. Angelina leans forward slightly. You reframed. A pause. That's storytelling, Oprah counters. That's control, Angelina corrects. The air thickens. A producer near the stage steps closer, then hesitates, sensing the electricity. The audience doesn't dare shift in their seats. Oprah's voice lowers. You're implying manipulation. Angelina's response is quiet. I'm stating impact. There's something about the way she says it. Not emotional, not explosive, but devastatingly measured. Oprah tries to pivot. Impact isn't always intentional. Angelina's eyes flash. But it's always powerful. A ripple of agreement, quickly suppressed, spreads through the crowd. Oprah inhales slowly. We gave you space to speak about your family, your pain, your journey. And you gave the world a headline, Angelina replies. The audience reacts, sharper this time. Audible. Oprah turns slightly toward them, as if drawing strength from their presence. Headlines are written by media outlets. Not us. Angelina doesn't look away. You knew what clip they'd use. A silence so deep it hums. Oprah's posture straightens. Authority returns to her voice. Are you saying we orchestrated a narrative to harm you? Angelina's lips press into a thin line. I'm saying, she begins, choosing each word like it weighs a pound, that vulnerability becomes currency when cameras are involved. A few people in the audience glance at each other. Someone whispers, "Oh my God." Oprah's expression flickers. Irritation? Disbelief? It's gone before it settles. You're one of the most powerful women in Hollywood, Oprah says. You understand media. Yes, Angelina agrees softly. Which is why I recognize it. The tension is no longer subtle. It's alive. Oprah leans in, elbows resting lightly on her knees. Then why come back here? There it is. The question everyone in the room is holding. Angelina exhales. Because unfinished conversations don't disappear, she says. They echo. Oprah studies her. You could have addressed this privately. Angelina's eyes narrow slightly. I tried. A beat. And Oprah presses. And I was advised, Angelina replies calmly, that it would be better for everyone to let it go. The phrase lands heavy. Oprah's expression tightens. Who advised you? Angelina doesn't hesitate. Your team. A producer near the stage visibly pales. Oprah's voice sharpens for the first time. I don't micromanage every communication. No, Angelina agrees quietly. You empower people who understand your priorities. A stunned breath ripples through the audience. Oprah's composure cracks, just slightly. Be careful. Angelina's chin lifts. I am. The temperature in the room feels like it's rising. Oprah leans back now, reclaiming physical space. Let's talk specifics. Angelina nods. You're referring to the segment about your children. Angelina's face shifts. The first visible flash of emotion. Protective. Raw. Yes. You spoke openly, Oprah continues. I spoke honestly, Angelina corrects. And that honesty resonated with millions. Angelina's voice lowers. It wasn't meant to. The room stills. Oprah tilts her head. When you sit on this stage, you know millions are watching. Angelina's gaze softens, but not toward Oprah. Toward something distant. There's a difference, she says, between sharing your truth and exposing someone else's. A collective intake of breath. Oprah doesn't answer immediately. The silence stretches. You signed the release, Oprah says finally. Angelina's eyes snap back. Legal permission isn't moral permission. The audience reacts, louder now. A mix of gasps and half-formed applause quickly swallowed. Oprah's voice loses its velvet edge. We can't be responsible for how every moment affects you later. Angelina nods slowly. That's the problem. A producer signals from the wings. Wrap it up. Oprah ignores it. You're painting this as exploitation, Oprah says carefully. That's a dangerous claim. Angelina's reply is almost gentle. So is editing someone's pain into a teaser. The audience audibly reacts again, shock now uncontained. Oprah's jaw sets. You're angry. Angelina shakes her head. No. What are you then? Oprah challenges. Angelina pauses. The pause is long enough to feel like a cliff edge. I'm done being curated. The words slice through the room. A cameraman shifts, trying to steady his shot. Oprah's composure is thinning, not gone, but tested. We have built platforms for voices like yours. Angelina's response is immediate. And you decide which parts get amplified. A flash of heat in Oprah's eyes. That's production. That's power, Angelina counters. Silence. Heavy. Real. The audience no longer knows who to side with. And that uncertainty vibrates in the air. Oprah's voice lowers into something almost intimate. What do you want right now? Angelina doesn't hesitate. Accountability. The word lands like a dropped mic. Oprah's lips press together. For what? Angelina leans forward one final inch. For choosing the moment I broke, and calling it inspiring. A gasp so loud it echoes. Oprah freezes. Because she remembers. The clip. The music swelling. The slow zoom on tears. The caption that read, strength through vulnerability. Angelina watches realization flicker across Oprah's face. The cameras are still rolling. And for the first time in decades, Oprah Winfrey has no immediate answer. The silence grows unbearable. Then Oprah inhales, preparing to respond. When a voice from backstage cuts through the room. We need to pause. Now. The red light flickers again. But this time, it doesn't go dark. And as producers rush forward, Angelina says something barely above a whisper. Yet every microphone catches it. You wanted truth. She looks straight into the camera. Here it is. The red light doesn't shut off. That's the first mistake. Producers rush toward the stage, whispering into headsets, hands slicing through the air in frantic signals. But the cameras stay live, and the audience knows it. There is no applause cue now. No music swell. No safety net. Oprah Winfrey lifts her hand, stopping the chaos before it can swallow the moment. Everyone sit down, she says, not loudly, but with a command that has steadied empires. The producers freeze. The room obeys. Across from her, Angelina Jolie doesn't move. Her posture is upright, spine straight, hands folded loosely in her lap. But there's something volcanic beneath the stillness. Oprah turns back to her. If we're doing this, she says carefully, we're doing it fully. A tremor moves through the audience. Angelina's expression doesn't change. That's all I asked for. The hum of the studio lights feels louder now. The air conditioning vents whisper overhead. Somewhere in the back row, someone shifts in their seat. The sound echoes like a crack in ice. Oprah leans forward. You're accusing me of exploiting your pain. I'm accusing the machine, Angelina replies quietly. Oprah's eyes sharpen. I am the machine. The words hit harder than she intended. Angelina tilts her head. Exactly. A stunned silence. Oprah exhales slowly. You knew the impact of that interview. I knew the risk, Angelina corrects. And you took it. Yes. Then why blame us? Angelina's voice lowers, but it doesn't weaken. Because when I said stop, you didn't. A producer winces. Oprah's gaze flickers, a crack of doubt. You're saying you asked to stop filming? I asked for a boundary. And we crossed it? Angelina nods once. Oprah's tone tightens. Be specific. Angelina swallows. For the first time tonight, emotion breaches the surface. You asked about my daughter. A ripple runs through the audience. Oprah doesn't interrupt. I told you before we started, Angelina continues, voice steady but thin at the edges, that certain details were off limits. Not because I'm ashamed. Not because I'm hiding. But because she didn't consent. The word consent hangs heavy. Oprah inhales. I remember that conversation differently. Angelina's eyes flash. Of course you do. A sharp intake of breath from the crowd. Oprah straightens. That's unfair. Angelina leans forward now, the calm giving way to something rawer. Is it? She asks. Because I remember sitting exactly where I am now, watching you lean in and say, the audience needs to understand the depth of this. Oprah's jaw tightens. And you told me, Angelina continues, that sharing it would empower other mothers. A murmur, louder this time. Oprah's voice hardens. It did. Angelina shakes her head. It empowered ratings. The word slice. The audience gasps openly now. Oprah's composure fractures. Just slightly. That's beneath you, she says. Angelina's response is immediate. No. What's beneath me is watching my child's pain turned into a promotional clip. A producer whispers urgently into a headset. The tension is no longer simmering. It's blazing. Oprah's voice rises, not shouting, but no longer soft. You approved the segment. I approved context, Angelina fires back. Not the trailer. The word trailer echoes. Oprah pauses. Angelina continues, relentless now. You cut my explanation. You cut the part where I said she was healing. You kept the tears. You kept the silence. You kept the close-up. The audience shifts uncomfortably. Oprah's eyes flicker, remembering. The zoom. The music swell. The slow fade to commercial. That was production, Oprah says. Angelina's stare is piercing. And who sets the tone of production? Silence. Oprah opens her mouth, closes it. For the first time in decades, she doesn't have the rhythm. The audience senses it. Power tilts. Oprah regains her footing, voice controlled again. You're rewriting history. Angelina's reply is barely above a whisper. No, I'm reclaiming it. A wave of murmurs ripples through the seats. Oprah leans in, eyes intense now. You think I built my career exploiting women? Angelina's gaze softens, not with sympathy, but with gravity. I think you built it telling stories. And somewhere along the way, the line blurred. A long, unbearable pause. Oprah's voice trembles, just slightly. You're questioning my integrity. Angelina nods once. I'm questioning your choices. The words hang like a suspended blade. The audience feels it. This isn't PR conflict. This is philosophical. Foundational. Oprah sits back slowly. You could have refused the interview. Angelina's voice cracks for the first time. I trusted you. The room stills completely. Not a cough. Not a breath. Oprah's expression shifts. Something like regret flickers across it, but pride walls it in. You're not powerless, Angelina. I never said I was. Then why frame yourself as a victim? Angelina's eyes blaze. I'm not a victim. Then what is this? Angelina leans forward, the distance between them shrinking to inches of charged air. This, she says quietly, is me refusing to be edited again. A gasp erupts. Oprah's composure falters. A producer steps toward the stage again. Oprah lifts a hand without looking, stopping them. She turns back to Angelina. What do you want from me? She asks, voice lower now, almost human. Angelina doesn't hesitate. I want you to say you knew. Oprah's face tightens. Knew what? That the most painful moment would be the most marketable. The audience is frozen. Oprah's silence stretches. Long. Painfully long. The cameras zoom in instinctively on her face. A bead of tension trembles at the edge of her composure. I never intended harm, she says finally. Angelina's voice is soft. That's not what I asked. The audience leans forward as one body. Oprah's lips part. Close. Part again. A war flickers behind her eyes. Legacy versus admission. Angelina waits. No blinking. No mercy. The silence becomes suffocating. And then, Oprah exhales. I knew it would be powerful, she says. A collective gasp. Angelina's jaw tightens. And I knew, Oprah continues, voice barely steady, that powerful moments drive conversation. The room explodes in murmurs. Angelina's eyes glisten, not with tears, but with vindication. And you chose it anyway, she whispers. Oprah doesn't answer. Because she doesn't have to. The answer is already there. The red recording light glows brighter than ever. And somewhere beyond the studio walls, the clip is already being uploaded. Angelina leans back slowly, reclaiming her space. Oprah stares ahead, not at Angelina, not at the audience, but at something far more fragile. Her image. A producer's voice trembles from backstage. We're trending. The audience erupts, not in applause, but in chaotic whispers. Angelina rises from her chair. Oprah looks up, and in a voice steady enough to echo long after the camera's cut, Angelina says, "This is what unedited looks like." She turns toward the exit. The cameras follow. Oprah remains seated, alone under the lights. And just before the feed glitches, Oprah speaks almost to herself. This isn't over.